issue, and you can be sued civilly and lose your house. Oh, I didn't know that. So we can talk about. Oh, you can take my picture? I'm sorry. Okay. You want her to take your picture?
What about the castle back?
Oh, okay. We can talk about that. We can talk about that. Let me hold that for 1 second and remind me because I'm old and I forget. But so we can talk about how you mitigate those three things. How in your home, and we can be very specific about what to do to deal with that. We can talk about concealed carry, the actual, real, honest to goodness, walking on the street with a gun, concealed carry, and what you do to stay alive. I see people come into our classes fairly regularly, and the attitude they have is this: I'm going to put a gun on, somebody's going to give me some crap, I'm going to shoot. And I'm like, oh, dude, back off. Too much red meat. So, interesting thing about concealed carry. Statistically, are you ready for this? 20% of all police officers killed in the line of duty with a gun are killed with their own gun. So, and these are people who are supposedly trained. Now, I would take umbrage at that thought, but at least in theory they were trained at one time. So that's a very important piece of information, because bringing a firearm out into the open, having a firearm anyway, raises the ante. You need to understand that just because you have a firearm doesn't mean you're going to win, okay? And I doubt there's anybody in this room that feels more strongly about the right to carry concealed firearm. I'm like rabid on this subject. I joined the Army in '66, and Uncle Sam taught me to shoot. I volunteered and went to Vietnam. I'm a lifelong hunter. I've been a part-time deputy for 18 years. I've been teaching this. I'm an NRA training counselor, Illinois certified firearms instructor, an NRA law enforcement instructor, blah, 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 blah. State of Illinois doesn't trust me to carry a firearm concealed. I don't think I understand that. Why is that? And more importantly, as was mentioned earlier, exactly what day did we let the federal government and the state government and the county government and the municipal government tell us that we can't defend ourselves? When did that happen? That's crap. So, we can talk about that if you would like to talk about that. I can talk about Harleys and golden retrievers and fly fishing too. But you asked me a specific question, sir. So ask that one more time so we can hear.
You mentioned that you can be sued, you can lose your house if somebody breaks into your home and you injure him, kill him, or whatever. You get sued by that person or by that person's
The state.
family.
Exactly.
Because they can't. I understand.
Castle doctrine was your question.
No, you cannot be sued.
Okay, here's the deal. Castle doctrine, there's a lot of misunderstanding. Castle doctrine basically says this: if you are lawfully in a place, no one has the right to accost you. You're sitting here right now legally. You belong here. It's okay. Nobody can come through that door and give you, I was going to use a bad word that moment, can give you grief. How's that? Okay, you have a right to defend yourself. Now, let me ask you a question. You are sitting in your living room watching TV. It's like 8, 9 o'clock at night. You're watching TV and you're sitting there with your, AR-15 in your lap, as you love to do. You don't like the AR-15? Yeah. Okay, your AK. Commie. I always knew you were a commie at heart. Sitting there with your AK on your lap, as you are wont to do, and somebody kicks through the front door, grabs the TV set, and starts running out the back door. Can you light him up?
No.
No, of course not. Because the problem is you cannot use lethal force over a property crime. So the Castle doctrine is correct. However, you cannot use lethal force over property crimes. Now, did we hand out that handout, Tim? Okay, I was told, oh, we usually get 20 or 30 people, though maybe be 40. Well, about 60 of you have to go home now. But I handed out, for those of you who were able to get them, here's a copy of 720, which is the Illinois Criminal Code. All right? And I have copied the part use of force in defense of a person and use of force in defense of a dwelling, and then other properties, okay? So, it's very clear, the Illinois Code is very, very clear in defense of a person. It says a person is justified in the use of force against another when and to the extent he reasonably believes that such conduct is necessary to defend himself or another against such other's imminent use of unlawful force. Now, here's the payoff part. However, you know, this is getting old stuff. Yeah, isn't that the truth? Yeah, the vanity just disappeared when I was beginning to get a migraine trying to read this thing. I don't mean, you know, men say women are vain. Men are really vain. You know?
Yes, they are.
It's true. We just kind of pretend like we're not. But here's the payoff part. However, he is justified in the use of force which is intended or likely to cause death or great bodily harm only if he reasonably believes that such force is necessary to prevent imminent death or great bodily harm to himself or another, or the commission of a forcible felony. Who knows what a forcible felony is? Anybody? We don't have any lawyers? No lawyers and no cops. This is cool. I'm getting happy here. There goes my badge again. Okay, forcible felony. Rape, arson, they're felony crimes that are violent. Okay? And that's a clear distinction because to get to this issue, if you steal something in excess of $500, that's a felony. Okay? So your big screen TV that you know saved up 3 paychecks for, and you got the surround sound in 3D, and you got the glasses, and all your neighbors like to visit you over that thing, and that costs like, what, $4,000 or something? That's a felony. But you can't light them up for that. Okay? That's not. Now, there are people in this room, I know, who are thinking to themselves, well, here's how it'll work. I'm just going to blast him to hell and put a gun in his hand. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you the reality of how that's going to work out for you. The nice patrol officer who shows up at your house, it's going to take him 3 minutes to figure out what you did. And the CSI person, before they drop the donut in the office to leave, will know that you faked it, okay? You can't get away with that stuff anymore. And for those of you who are talking about lighting them up in the front yard and dragging them back in, see me afterwards, tell me what brand of cigarettes you like. You know why? Because in penitentiary, you can't have cash. They use cigarettes for trade. That's what money is. So I'll buy you some cartons of cigarettes because you're going to the Who's Gal. So Castle Doctrine boils down to this. You can be sued. Now, let's just talk. You want to talk about that? How you protect yourself, you don't go to jail, and you don't lose your house? Move to Utah. You know. Let me just tell you something quick about Utah. I had to go out to Utah. What?
People want to light some people up here.
Well, it's just, I know, this is my kind of folks, you know, but hey, my badge switches. I was out in Utah, you know, getting certified as a Utah concealed carry instructor. This was a few years ago. I got to tell you something. I mean, I'm not going to beat you over the head with this, but this is like 3-4 years ago, I suppose. I got a brand new Sebring convertible for $25 a day. I stayed in a 2-year-old hotel with a 2-bedroom suite for $60 a night. I played 18 holes of golf with a cart in a Mountain View golf course for $30. I'm going, and you can just walk down the street with a gun on your hip with no license at all. And here's the best part.
Florida.
When's the last time you heard of a mass shooting in a school in Utah? Okay? You can bring a gun into schools in Utah. If you have a concealed carry permit, you can legally bring a gun into a school in Utah. And better, if you work for an employer who doesn't like the fact that you have a gun in your car, in his parking lot, by Utah law, he is required to provide you with an alternative equal parking space where you can have a gun in your car. Why are we living in Illinois? Anyway, so here's the deal. First of all, and here's how you get in trouble. Here's how you get in trouble on the civil thing. You know what? It's at 2 o'clock in the morning, and a couple are laying in bed.